Good evening and namaskar. You're watching Express News, where we bring you a quick wrap-up of all that's happening around the world. I'm Samriddhi Goel. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated defence offices complexes at Delhi's Kasturba Gandhi Marg and Africa Avenue. The Prime Minister visited the Defence Office complex at Africa Avenue and interacted with the Army, Navy and Air Force and civilian officers. The new Defence Office complex will accommodate around 7,000 officials from the Ministry of Defence and the armed forces, including the Army, Navy and the Air Force. Prime Minister Modi also launched the Central Vista website on the occasion, as the Central Vista master plan will stand out as a glowing testimony of Prime Minister's vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. The Central Vista website will showcase the details of the People's Project and capture the spirit behind building New India of our dreams. PM Modi said that today Delhi is progressing in line with New India vision. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the first in-person Quad Leaders Summit in Washington on September 24th. MEA spokesperson also said that on 25th of September, the Prime Minister will address the general debate of the UN General Assembly at its 76th session. The MEA spokesperson further clarified that bilateral meetings with other Quad leaders as well as bilateral meetings with some other leaders is expected while the Prime Minister will be in New York on 25th of September. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that majority of Indians have been evacuated, but some are still left. The MEA spokesperson also said that India continues to be engaged with the US and other countries on Afghanistan. He also confirmed that one Indian national is missing in Kabul. On Operation Devi Shakti, MEA spokesperson said until and unless operations resume at the Kabul airport, it will be difficult to say how will people be evacuated. The 21st meeting of the SCO Council of Heads of State will be held tomorrow in Dushanbe, Tajikistan in a hybrid format. The Prime Minister will lead the Indian delegation and address the plenary session of the summit through video link. At Dushanbe, India will be represented by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari reviewed the progress of the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway in Sohna along with Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar. The Union Minister said that the expressway will improve the connectivity and bring economic prosperity to millions. It will also halve the commute time between Delhi and Mumbai from nearly 24 hours to 12 hours and shorten the distance by 130 kilometers. The Union Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari further added that pollution in Delhi has been significantly reduced while more efforts are being put to divert traffic and relieve the national capital from excessive pollution. The new Council of Ministers of Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel in Gujarat has been sworn in today. In a big step, BJP has implemented no repeat theory in the new Council of Ministers. A total of 10 cabinet ministers have taken oath. Union Ministers Anurag Singh Thakur and Mansukh Mandavia on Thursday launched the 15 mobile medical units bound for Himachal Pradesh. Union Ministers Anurag Singh Thakur and Mansukh Mandavia flagged off the ambulances from Delhi. With the administration of 64,51,423 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, the country's COVID-19 vaccination coverage surpassed the cumulative figure of 76.57 crores. The recovery of 38,303 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 3,25,60,474. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 97.64%, less than 50,000 daily new cases that is being reported for 81 consecutive days now. 30,570 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active case load is currently at 3,42,923. Now, active cases presently constitute 1.03% of the country's total positive cases. The testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. The last 24 hours saw a total of 15,79,761 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted over 54.77 crores and 54 crore 77 lakh 1,729 to be precise cumulative tests. More than 76.11 crore vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through the Government of India free of cost channel and through direct state procurement category. Furthermore, 1.65 crore doses, that is 1 crore 65 lakh 76,510 to be precise, are in the pipeline. India observes the 27th Global Ozone Day. Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Ashwini Kumar Choubey chaired an event organized to observe the 27th Global Ozone Day in New Delhi. Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Shri Ashwini Kumar Choubey today said that India has successfully phased out production and consumption of several major ozone-depleting substances, ODs, and met all the obligations of the Montreal Protocol so far by accessing technical and financial assistance from the financial mechanism of the Montreal Protocol. Addressing a press conference, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the Union Cabinet has approved central government guarantee up to Rs 30,600 crores to back security receipts to be issued by the National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. The Finance Minister announced that along with National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, the government is also setting up an India Debt Resolution Company Limited. Now, PSBs will have 51% ownership in NARCL, while PSBs and public financial institutions will have a maximum of 49% stake. The GST Council, chaired by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, will meet on Friday, which among other things may review tax rate of over 4 dozen items and extend till 31st of December tax concessions on 11 COVID-19 drugs. The Indian market benchmark ended with strong gains on September 16, supported by banking heavyweights. The Sensex closed at 59,141, up by 417.96 points or 0.71%. While the Nifty was at 17,629.50, up by 110.05 points or 0.63%. The rupee slipped 2 paise to close at 73.52 against the US currency on Thursday, tracking the strengthening of the greenback in the overseas markets. On the multi-commodity exchange, crude oil for the September delivery dropped by Rs 5 or 0.09% to Rs 5,330 per barrel with a business volume of 3,997 lots. Gold in the national capital on Thursday plunged to Rs 491 to Rs 45,735 per 10 gram amid a decline in the international precious metal prices and rupee appreciation. Silver also tumbled by Rs 724 to Rs 61,541 per kilogram from Rs 62,265 per kilogram in the previous trade. Petrol and diesel prices remained unchanged across the 4 metros for the 11th consecutive day on Thursday. In the national capital, petrol prices were steady at Rs 101.19 per litre and diesel rates were also unchanged at Rs 88.62 per litre. As of now, over 22.73 crore people have contracted the COVID-19 virus, while over 20 crore 40 lakh people have recovered worldwide. More than 46 lakh 75,000 people have lost their lives to the coronavirus globally. The US has more than 4 crore 24 lakh cases reported of COVID-19 and over 6 lakh 85,000 deaths have been reported in the country so far. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said that the government is taking steps to vaccinate students of age 12 and above with the COVID-19 vaccine. Prime Minister Hasina said the government has taken steps to vaccinate 50% of people by December this year. She informed that till September 12, Bangladesh had 9.65 million doses of vaccine in its stock. Cuba said it will seek the World Health Organization's approval for 3 homegrown COVID-19 vaccines to commercialize widely. All 3 vaccines are based on coronavirus protein subunits. Soberana 2 is a conjugate vaccine with tetanus toxoid. Cuba is vaccinating its population at one of the fastest rates in the world. In United States, thousands and thousands of small white flags stand in unison outside the National Mall to honor the lost lives to COVID-19 pandemic. UN Chief Antonio Guterres stressed that he cannot ask world leaders to show that they have been vaccinated against COVID-19. The statement came after New York City officials said proof should be required for anyone entering the UN General Assembly Hall. Australia, Britain and the United States has announced a new security partnership for Indo-Pacific that will involve helping Canberra acquire nuclear-powered submarines as Chinese influence over the region grows. Under the partnership, the United States and Britain will provide Australia with the technology and capability to deploy nuclear-powered submarines. The announcement comes just over a week before US President Biden is to host a first in-person meeting of leaders of the Quad group of countries. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson undertook a major reshuffle of his government ministers. Liz Truss is the new Foreign Secretary, replacing Dominique Raab is confirmed in 3 roles: Justice Secretary, Lord Chancellor and Deputy Prime Minister. The French President Emmanuel Macron said on Wednesday that French military forces had killed Islamic militant Adnan Abu Walid al-Sahrawi, the leader of the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara. A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket ship carrying 4 space tourists blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida for the first mission to orbit the globe with an all-civilian crew. The Crew Dragon, fitted with a special observation dome in place of its usual docking hatch, reached orbit almost 10 minutes after the scheduled blast-off. The rocket's first stage booster descended back to Earth and touched down safely on a landing platform. Nearly 22 foreigners who were abducted by gunmen at a hotel in Mexico have been rescued by authorities, while most of the rescued foreigners were Haitians and Cubans. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that UN has only limited capacity to mediate for an inclusive Taliban government. He added that any suggestion the world body can solve Afghanistan's problems is a fantasy. The United Nations will be doing everything it can for a country that Guterres said is on the verge of a dramatic humanitarian disaster and has decided to engage the Taliban in order to help Afghanistan's roughly 36 million people. Players from Afghanistan's female youth soccer teams have arrived in Pakistan and will seek political asylum in 3rd countries amid concern over the status of female athletes under the new Taliban government in Kabul. The Mexican Independence Day is celebrated on September 16 by Mexicans and people of Mexican ancestry around the world. An earthquake of magnitude 6.0 struck Sichuan province in China on Thursday morning. The World Ozone Day is celebrated on 16th of September each year to commemorate the signing of the Montreal Protocol, an international environmental treaty for phasing out of production and consumption of ozone-depleting substances that came into force on this day in the year 1987. Speaking exclusively to Doordarshan, S.K. Sharma, CMD of Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, said that ozone layer is something like a roof which protects us from the harmful effects of ultraviolet rays, and in its absence, incidence of skin cancer is likely to increase and also harmful for environment and human race. Bemused tourists in Paris reacted with a mix of surprise and disdain when they discovered the Arc de Triomphe monument had been enveloped in a shimmering shroud, a posthumous installation conceived by the late artist Christo. Dutch tourist Chester Hersman said the shroud looked like toilet paper. Workers on harnesses spent several days enveloping the 50-meter 19th century arc in a silvery blue recyclable plastic curtain, a project first imagined decades ago by the late Bulgarian-born Christo. Pilot Zara Rutherford, who is paving the way for girls in STEM by setting the record for the youngest woman to fly solo around the world, arrived at Virgin Galactic Spaceport Americon, having recently touched down in Costa Rica a week ago as part of her journey. The young pilot set off on her 51,000-kilometer journey in her bespoke Shark ultralight plane, the world's fastest microlight, on August 11th. Now, once complete, Rutherford will be the youngest person to fly a microlight around the world and the youngest woman to fly solo around the world. From the dog with the longest ears to the world's tallest teenager, Guinness World Records reveals its latest record breakers in the 2022 edition of the popular book. The annual publication features an array of records and feats, including the fastest walking on hands and the most skips over a person's own hair in 30 seconds. American Zion Clark, who was born without legs, took the record for fastest 20 meters walking on hands, achieving the feat in 4.78 seconds. Laetitia Kai from Ivory Coast set the record for most skips over a person's own hair in 30 seconds. 60. The 25-year-old model, actress and artist is known for making sculptures with her locks. In Indonesia's Central Java province, Ogis Widanarko slides into a Spider-Man costume and pulls on a mask before heading out on his mission of the day. By dressing up as superheroes, he's hoping to rescue children in self-isolation from pandemic sadness and boredom and hopefully bring a little bit of healing. At the start of the deadly second wave in June, he visited about 6 families daily, dressed in a range of his costumes, including Spider-Man and Batman. With a drop in the caseload, had entertained more than 100 children in 4 months, now conducts visit in his neighborhood in Central Java once a week. In Germany, a female walrus has veered off course, traveling miles from her species' usual habitat for far north in Spitsbergen, just north of Norway and eastern Greenland. Conservationists say the walrus is healthy and should be able to find enough food in the mudflats. The last time a walrus was spotted in the area was in 1998, and locals were delighted that they have the chance to see one of Europe's largest sea mammals up close. French President Emmanuel Macron toured the theatre of the Fontainebleau Castle with Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan to observe the fruits of a cultural partnership between France and the United Arab Emirates. The theatre had been renamed after Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE and brother of the Crown Prince. The UAE financed the renovation of the Napoleon III Theatre with a €10 million donation in the project that was launched in 2012. Built in 1857, the theatre was used only about 10 times during the reign of Napoleon III before its doors were shut for 150 years. In Zimbabwe, most bills ended up in the trash, but Zimbabwean visual artist Prudence Chimutswa has found value in the unloved old banknotes by using them to make art. Chimutswa wants Zimbabweans to look beyond the ugly history of the inflation to see something beautiful in the bills. Her paintings capture the daily lives of women shown dancing, cooking or in bright and elegant dress, with the old Zim dollar notes stuck on with glue to form part of the image. Her figures are mostly blue, which she described as a symbol of strength and dominance. In Vietnam, a tour guide in Ho Chi Minh City has opened a Zero Dong kitchen to provide food and meals for poor workers who have lost their jobs. Although he and his team have also been affected by the pandemic, they are still trying to keep up their volunteering work. Virat Kohli on Thursday announced that he will be stepping down as India captain after the T20 World Cup later this year. The 32-year-old put out a statement on social media to announce his decision. Kohli will continue to serve as India's Test and ODI captain. Manika Batra has been left out of the India squad for the Asian Championships beginning 28th of September in Doha after she did not attend the mandatory national camp in Sonipat. In the absence of the world number 56, 97th ranked Sutirth Mukherjee will lead the women's team. Liverpool had to come from behind to win a Champions League thriller 3-2 against AC Milan at Anfield. Jordan Henderson rifled home his first Champions League goal for 7 years in the 69th minute to earn Liverpool a thrilling win over AC Milan. Another English club and last time runners-up Manchester City have also started off with a bang in the Champions League. Manchester City managed to beat German club RB Leipzig 6-3. Real Madrid substitute Rodrigo stuck an 89th minute win to snatch a 1-0 Champions League group stage victory and punish a wasteful Inter Milan. The Brazilian met a pass from Eduardo Camavinga and volleyed in with seconds remaining of the normal time. French club Paris Saint-Germain have to be content with a draw in their Champions League opening match despite the presence of star strikers Lionel Messi, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. The match played between PSG and Club Braga ended in a 1-1 draw. The star trio failed to score goals for PSG. Atletico Madrid couldn't manage more than a 0-0 draw against Porto in the Champions League. Griezmann, back with Madrid after 2 seasons with rival Barcelona, came off the bench in the second half but couldn't spark the host to victory. Andy Murray is out of the Rennes Open after a 6-2, 4-6, 6-1 defeat by Roman Safiullin in the last 16. Rafael Nadal admitted that he faces a difficult and painful recovery from the foot injury that forced the 20-time Grand Slam champion to miss Wimbledon, the Olympics and the US Open. Nadal ended his season in August due to injury and has said his foot is still a little sore in a presentation of a documentary about his tennis academy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and Serum Institute of India CEO Adar Poonawalla have been named among the world's 100 most influential people of 2021 by the Time magazine. The list also includes US President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, former US President Donald Trump and co-founder of the Taliban Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar. The Golden Globe and Emmy-winning actor Brian Cox and Without Remorse star Jodie Turner-Smith are set to star in an upcoming political thriller titled The Independent. The movie will be helmed by Emmy-nominated director Amy Reese. Superstar and martial arts master Jackie Chan will next be seen in an incredible story about a man and his horse touted to be a martial arts-based comedy titled Ride On. Jackie Chan will be essaying a washed-up martial artist whose horse may be taken away from him owing to a debt dispute. American director Steven Spielberg's upcoming film West Side Story will release on December 10th in India. A new trailer was also unveiled. West Side Story is an adaptation of the famous Broadway musical of the same name by Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim. Netflix has revealed an all-star lineup for its inaugural Tudum, Netflix Global Fan event, which will be attended by more than 145 stars and creators from around the world, including Madhuri Dixit, Jennifer Aniston, Millie Bobby Brown, Idris Elba, Jung Hae-in and Zack Schneider. Late veteran star Dilip Kumar's Twitter account will be deactivated as decided by the family. Dilip Kumar passed away at the age of 98 in July this year. His family friend Faisal Farooqi shared on Twitter that Saira Bano had given her consent to deactivate the account. Moving upward and onward in her career trajectory, Kiara Advani received the Smita Patil Memorial Global Award for Best Actor this year, post the success of Shersha. Kiara Advani joins the previous recipients Vidya Balan, Deepika Padukone, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Anushka Sharma, amongst others. Actors Siddhant Chaturvedi, Ananya Pandey and Adarsh Gaurav are set to star in Kho Gaye Hum Kahan. The film will be the directorial debut of Arjun Baren Singh and is billed as a coming-of digital age story of 3 friends in Mumbai. The star cast of the film took to Instagram and shared the first look poster of the film. Actor Tabu on Thursday morning shared a post on Instagram mentioning that she is reuniting with her Maqbool and Haider director Vishal Bharadwaj for a film titled Khufia. The project also features Ali Fazal, Vamika Gabi and Ashish Vidyarthi in pivotal roles. Tabu wrote, "Expect nothing but sheer thrill. Excited to announce my reuniting with Vishal Bharadwaj for Khufia, coming very soon on Netflix." And the Producers Guild of America has inducted actor-producer Priyanka Chopra Jonas as a member of the organization. The PGA is a non-profit trade organization that represents, protects and promotes the interest of all members of the producing team in film, television and new media. The guild shared the announcement on Twitter. Well, that's all in today's edition of Express News. Till we meet again, stay safe and keep watching DD India for latest updates on news. Thanks for watching.